Hi guys, it is Miss Holly here, and I'm going to go over some of the books that are on the Monarch Book Award list. Now, the Monarch Award is an award developed by the Illinois School Library Media Association, and it is an award for books for kids in grades kindergarten through third grade. So it's for all those picture books and beginning reader books. So the first book I want to show you is King and Kayla and the Case of the Missing Dog Treats. And this book is written by Dory Hillestad Butler, and it was illustrated by Nancy Myers. And another special thing about this book, there's an award right here. It won the Honor Award for the Theodore Geisel Award, and that is an award for books that are for early or beginning readers. And if you don't know Theodore Geisel, that is the real name for Dr. Seuss. So this book I would recommend for fans of Cam Jansen or those types of whodunit mysteries. The premise of this book is that we have Kayla, the human, and King, her dog, and they are going over to their friend Jillian's house, but Jillian has a dog too, so Kayla wanted to bake some treats for Jillian's dog. So once they get there, they're visiting, having a good time, and then all of a sudden, some of the dog treats go missing. And Kayla surely thinks it must have been King, but King is innocent, and he's trying to prove his innocence the whole time. He thinks there's an intruder in the house, and the intruder stole those dog treats. Is there an intruder? Is King right, or is Kayla? I don't know. You'll have to find out inside by reading this book. So this next book is called How to Give Your Cat a Bath in 5 Easy Steps. And it is written by Nicola Winstanley and illustrated by John Martz. So how do you clean your cat? This super silly book will tell you how. And you don't even need to have a cat to know that cats don't really like water, so this is probably going to get messy. So all you have to do to give your cat a bath is to follow the instructions, the 5 easy instructions in this book. So I think it's a really good book for reading aloud. I'll show you just the first instruction. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it gives you step by step. This is step 1. This is an awesome read aloud, and it's also fun to read on your own. So how to give your cat a bath in 5 easy steps. Find out how. So this next book is called Douglas, You're a Genius, and it is by Jed Adamson, who did both the words and the pictures. Now, Jed Adamson is a very good children's author. You might recognize him from books such as Ava and the Rainbow Who Stayed. That's one of my favorites. But this one is about Nancy over here and Douglas, the dog, over here. They are pals, and they are trying to retrieve a ball that goes over the garden wall in their backyard. Suddenly, while they're trying to retrieve this ball, a message comes through a hole in the fence. And it's very mysterious. They don't even know what language it is. It's very hard for them to read. They're trying to figure it out. And they must hatch a plan to figure out who their neighbors are, who lives next door, what can they do about it. So this is kind of tries to answer the age-old question of, well, we can't go under it and we can't go over it, and we find out they can't even go through it. So it's a big challenge to find out who is living next door. And they're hatching a lot of plans here. I'll just show you some of the pictures of Nancy and Douglas's adventures. But if you want to find out more about the secret message and who lives next door to Nancy and Douglas and why Douglas is a genius, you'll have to read this book. This next book is one of my favorites on the list. It is called Dreamers, and it is by Juji Morales. It won the Pure Belpre Award, and that is an award for Latina or Latino authors who have written books about the Latino experience for children. So this book is a very special book. It is semi-autobiographical, which means that it is about the author's life. Autobiography means it is the person who wrote the book is writing about themselves, and a biography is someone else is writing about that person. So this is semi-autobiographical, and it is about a mama and a baby that are on their way to the United States from Mexico. They're immigrants. And they're finding themselves in all these crazy scenarios. They don't know exactly what's what because they're brand new to America, but they find their American path and purpose in a very special place. You guys might be familiar. It is a children's library. We're in one right now. The illustrations are really beautiful in this book. So here is when they get to the children's library for the first time. Illustrations are one of my favorite parts, actually. It's not just, showing what's going on very literally. There's some symbolism too. So we'll go to this page here where they are first coming to the United States. And you might see some bats over here. And Gigi Morales put these bats in her book because these bats migrate from Mexico to California and Texas. And that kind of mimics a lot of immigrants' paths too. And you will see this monarch butterfly here. You might have noticed that in the library picture too. There's another monarch butterfly. And the reason she put so many different butterflies in here is because, like the bats, the monarch butterflies also migrate between Mexico and the United States. And the butterflies are a little more interesting because the butterfly that leaves isn't the same butterfly that arrives. Bugs don't live very long, so by the time they arrive, it's the fourth generation. And that's kind of what a lot of immigrants do too. They bring their whole family over, or one person comes with hopes for the future for the rest of the family to come over. So that's why she included the bats and the butterflies. And if you want to see the rest of the beautiful illustrations in this book and find out what happens to Mama and Baby, you'll have to read it. This last book here is called Drawn Together, and it is by Min Lei and illustrated by Dan Santat. This is also one of my favorite books, along with Dreamers, on this list. So this book is about a boy and his grandpa, and they both speak two different languages. The grandpa is an immigrant, and he is from a different country. Presumably, he doesn't speak English. So the boy has to go visit his grandpa probably for a weekend, it kind of sounds like, and he's pretty bummed about it because he can't connect with him. So the illustrations are really pretty. I'm just going to show you some here. We can see him asking, "So what's new, Grandpa?" And they kind of show this weird language no one knows how to read. Kind of shows they can't talk, they can't communicate. But then something magical happens, right? So they draw together, and once they start drawing together, it just breaks all those cultural and language barriers and age barriers. So they start drawing, and this is the boy's drawing, and this is the grandpa's drawing. And they just start to develop a relationship from their creativity and their art. And it's one of my favorites just because, along with the cute message of, creativity and art bringing people together, the illustrations in this book are beautiful. So if you want to read more about the boy and his grandpa and find out what happens at the end, read Drawn Together. So these are all the books from the Monarch list that I'm going to talk to you about today. Hopefully you found one that sounded interesting, sounded good for you. That's all. Bye, guys.